built up just like the police motorcycle. The original flag that was supposed to be hoisted for us to become independent was accidentally left at Government House, which was a few miles away from Clifford Park. And when it was about time for the handing over the flag to Sergeant Taylor, they discovered that it was left at Government House. And they summoned me to leave the parade and go and get this flag and bring it back as fast as I possibly can. I could recall it was like 7 minutes before midnight. And at that time, Sergeant Taylor should have had the flag in his hand, getting ready to tie it onto the pole to meet the Union Jack halfway. But it was discovered that the flag was at Government House, so I was charged to go and get it. Being a stunt rider and actually from that community, I knew some shortcuts. So I took from Clifford Park, went through Danes Lane, across the Western Cemetery, through the Axel Graveyard, and enter into the west side of the Prairie Grounds, St. Francis Church, and then head into West Hill Street and straight into Government House, which was the shortest route that I knew. And then I did that, and I went in there. I was told where the flag was. I went in there, retrieved the flag, did a reverse route, and came back to Clifford Park. When I got back to Clifford Park, to park my motorcycle chopped on the ground, you know, and I had to do something in a drill movement to make it look good. So I delightfully saluted my motorcycle, which was lying on the ground, engine still running, and passed the flag directly to Sergeant Taylor, who then hoisted the flag. I was very, very emotional, and you know, police officers are well trained, to be brave. But that moment, I couldn't control myself. I was very emotional, and tears running down my eyes, and everybody else was crying. You know, when emotion hit. You know, but you know, I was excited about it. I knew quite a bit about our country becoming independent because I read a lot about independence once they said that we're going to become independent. So I knew what to expect at that particular time.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, a resolution to human rights debated in Parliament this morning. We have the details. And a prominent attorney speaks to the possibility of capital punishment in the country. Plus, students studying abroad trained on applying for a student visa. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Topping news tonight, the matter of human rights was brought to the floor of Parliament this morning as the government and the official opposition engaged in a debate regarding a resolution that should facilitate the establishment of a parliamentary committee comprising of members from both the House of Assembly and the Senate. The purpose of the committee? To address pertinent issues related to human rights. During his contribution to the debate on the resolution, the Honorable Prime Minister Philip Davis said the members of the committee will be responsible for thoroughly examining and assessing issues concerning the protection and enforcement of human rights in the country.
This is something that we all benefited from. You who sit opposite to us, you may not have been here today had not been for this act, right, 58 years ago. on the 27th of April 1965, when the late Sir Lyndon Pindling, then the leader of the opposition and later Prime Minister, demonstrated extraordinary courage by throwing the Speaker's mace out of the House of Assembly, east window, right over there.
The nation's chief also indicated that the appointment of this committee is particularly timely as the nation is preparing to observe the anniversary of Black Tuesday tomorrow, April 27th, which he asserted represents the universal rights that all Bahamians are entitled to.
In times like these, when our nation faces unprecedented challenges, from a pandemic to the global inflation crisis, to the urgent need to address climate change and its devastating impacts on our islands, the legacy of Black Tuesday serves as a powerful reminder of the strength and resilience of us as a people. We have weathered many storms throughout our history, and we've always emerged stronger and more united.
PM Davis called on Bahamians to embody the spirit, determination, and unity sparked by the events of Black Tuesday, which was one of the late Sir Lyndon Pindling's most notable actions.
Today, as we confront new and daunting challenges, we must draw strength from the lessons of Black Tuesday and reaffirm our commitment to the democratic principles and values that have sustained us throughout our journey as a nation.
Should the Bahamas consider implementing capital punishment? That question being answered tonight by prominent attorney Maurice Clinton and residents on the island. Our Aja Quant has more in this report.
As concerns mount on the level of murders and violent crime in the Bahamas, particularly in the nation's capital, there has been a renewed call for capital punishment to be reinstated. Noted attorney Maurice Clinton says he has made his stance against the death penalty. Clinton says the country has not seen a death penalty in over 30 years, and he believes that it should not come back because everyone is protected under the law.
There is written within this Constitution the necessary protections for everyone against being put to death, except the worst of the worst.
He says that at the beginning of his career, he and other lawyers fought to ensure that the death penalty was removed from the country's legal system, and he still stands on that to this date.
My view is this: the law that we have, and we've now been able to prove that, and demonstrate that to the court. Some would say it's all fictitious, as just judges working their magic, and stuff, and that you've got these European-minded judges who decide that they're gonna box us in so that we can't kill each other. But we've been able to convince you that within our constitutional framework, there are protections.
Clinton's comments come amid a recent debate in the Bahamas about the use of the death penalty. Some residents believe that it is necessary to maintain law and order.
I am not opposed to capital punishment. I think that it has to be very carefully considered and reserved for the most heinous of crimes, but I'm not opposed to it.
I think we should do it. I think that the murder rate, it's ridiculous. Every day you look on the news, it's double, double. And I think until we get serious and make a stand about it, we're going to not be able to control crime.
While others argue that it is an outdated and barbaric form of punishment.
I personally don't think that capital punishment is the answer. But the whole process of a punitive approach, I think, has to be reviewed in terms of what we do and what things can we do in our society.
Now, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, did respond to capital punishment questions sometime in 2022, where he says the courts have made some determination about what will attract capital punishment or not, and that they will leave it in the hands of the law. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Well, Pelican Bay Hotel playing host to a business meeting organized by the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce today under the theme Ready to Serve. The guest speaker, Central Bank Governor John Roll, providing updates on the bank's use of the sand dollar. Roll addressing how the bank is working with the business sector to promote its use as a means of payment for customers.
So in terms of the update, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is the kinds of activities that the bank is going to be undertaking in terms of in Grand Bahama and the Family Islands to promote increased adoption, such as making it easier for individuals and businesses to create mobile wallet accounts, as well as getting people to begin to understand how the Sand Dollar platform is connected with the rest of the banking system for monies to move in both directions.
Meanwhile, he is adamant that the currency will coexist alongside cash in the future.
The future for the Bahamas is, if you want to have a more efficient and more inclusive space for financial services and payments, you have to exploit the means to do so digitally, and you have to address the regulatory and other issues to make certain that everyone in the country can participate in that process. So the future has to be one in which everybody has access to and can genuinely choose to participate in digital payments.
In other news, Bahamians now have an alternative option for internet service as the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, has granted permission for Starlink to operate in the country. Starlink is the world's first and largest satellite group using a low Earth orbit to deliver broadband internet. Our Ramiko Knowles has more in this report.
When I was here in Freeport a few months ago, I saw a particular company using it, so that's when I decided to get it. When I got it, and I noticed it works.
Meet Rando Seymour, an entrepreneur who resides in Inagua. Rando's daily routine has been hindered by slow internet speed, and determined to find a solution to this issue, he ordered Starlink's satellite dish.
Anything over 10 megabytes, I can't get. And for me to get about that speed, I have to go through drastic measures. I have to get BTC data plan, try hotspot off my phone, just to get anything over 10, 15.
But just what kind of speed are we talking? Seymour set up his Starlink dish outside our ZNS studios so we can witness its performance firsthand. In fact, we conducted a regular speed test that displayed speeds at a blazing 242 megabytes per second. He says it's a game changer.
I think it changed for the better. Like, now, I don't have to worry about missing any of the events, any of the UFC, any of the boxing, anything, any of the pay-per-views, any of the NBA finals coming up, NBA playoffs coming up, the Super Bowl. Well, I missed the Super Bowl because I didn't have it at the time. But anything, I can just stream it right from here, and I'm good.
CEO of BTC, Samir Bhatti, says the company is aware of the satellite internet provider receiving a license to operate in the Bahamas by IRCA, and they are monitoring the situation. But as for now, they remain focused on meeting the needs of customers.
We have done a number of tours already, and we continue those tours, where we recently went to South Andros and we went to Bimini, and more islands are upcoming. And we are doing what's necessary to our existing network to improve the speeds, both the speeds and the latency in those networks. So we're not ignoring our existing network. We're continuing to support it and maintain it. And as we continue our tours throughout the rest of the Bahamas, we will address those issues that we see as we see them.
Seymour reportedly paid nearly $1,000 for the equipment and also has to make monthly payments. However, Seymour believes that the benefits of having high-speed internet on the outer island far outweighs the costs, making it a worthwhile investment for him.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. But now, if I can get fiber, I think I'll discontinue it. But if I can get fiber at a low cost, I don't think I'll use it.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Thanks, Ramiko. It's a key time for high school students as they get ready for college abroad. The U.S. Embassy is on the island meeting with parents and students, walking them through the process of applying for their student visas. As they intend to visit more family islands, a vice counsel for the U.S. Embassy in New Providence, Lance Peterson, says it was important to visit and share some key changes in the application process.
One is that students can now apply for their visa 365 days prior to their school start date. Now, that's a big change because it used to be 120 days. So that's allows students to come in earlier, get more ahead of the game, get more prepared, so they're not going to miss their school start. And we're going to talk about some other key timelines because the one key matter is, even though they can apply for a visa 365 days prior, they're still limited to entering the United States 30 days prior. And that's all based on their program start date. And then again, they'll have to exit the United States 60 days after the program end date.
The representatives are on the island for the weekend, stationed at the Pelican Bay Hotel between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., offering one-on-one sessions. With the recent full house in attendance for their latest town hall meeting, Peterson is happy to see students and parents taking the matter seriously.
We're going to run as many sessions as we need to make sure we talk to everybody who is here, but we're also going to be here throughout the week operating here, so if anybody has questions, they can always stop by and talk to us. They should take it serious, and we take it serious too, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this town hall tonight, because we take it serious too, and it's a high priority for the State Department and the U.S. government. This is a great program, and we want to do whatever we can to support the students and support the families.
Ever thought about skydiving? Well, a jump festival is set for West End soon. That story and a whole lot more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Visit Island Care Pharmacy on Explorers Way, next to Tico's Clothing Store. They offer the best in pharmaceutical, healthcare, and medical supplies. Take advantage of their medical discount plan today. Island Care Pharmacy. Phone 602-0932.
Grand Bahama downtown parking lot comes alive. Come and enjoy your favorite street food at one location. Saturday, April 29th from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. Amazing performances from top finishers of GB National Arts Festival, all at Food Truck Saturday.
Gents, Mother's Day is coming up, and I'm thinking about upgrading my kids' mother's kitchen.
Man, I thought your children's mother was married to another man. You have to know when to let go. This is powerful. You know what? I'm going to upgrade my wife's kitchen for Mother's Day. I am sure she would love that.
I think so too. Check out Cornet Bahamas. They're having a pre-Mother's Day sale, 35% off store-wide starting April 16th to May 16th. The Sandy Port Plaza, Freeport, Albuquerque, and Ilu.
Here's a public service announcement for anybody who would say Porky. If you would say Porky, this message is for you. It's all about the Road to 50 celebrations in West and Grand Bahama Bay from May 26th to May 28th. So May 26th is all about the welcoming party right there at the YMCA grounds in Hunters. Come on out, but we get Big Flex and we get Sweet Mouth on the DJs there holding it down. But I can tell you right now, leave your kids home. This ain't no kids party. This is a grown folks party. Now the next day, that's Saturday, bring the kids out. It's the People's Rush with the best Junkanoo group in the nation right now. We gotta say it. Who are we? One family. Even though Isa Valley, I gotta say one family. So one family is coming to Freeport, and on the Sunday, it's all about the best of the best. Gino D, KB, T-Mark, Papa Smythe, Wilfred Solomon, so much more, so much more. And I can say it again, no kids to this event neither. If your man is act like a little boy, leave him home. Leave him home.
I was invited to an all-girls seminar. By the end of the seminar, there were so many girls that came forward to talk about instances where they would have been abused, either sexually or physically.
The month of April is National Child Protection Month, and the ZNS Health Zone puts a spotlight on social workers.
How is it that there are so many children being neglected and placed into the home?
Family members are not stepping up to the plate.
You would tend to think that the children that are in the home have no family other than the parents who were the reasons why they're there. But that is not the case.
Wednesday, April 26 at 8 p.m. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Skydiving may be considered dangerous, but according to one local organizer, it's possible to make it a worthwhile tourist attraction. The Bahamas Boogie Jump Festival recently hosting sessions at the Old Bahama Bay Resort in West End, and it certainly was a sight to see. Shane Stubbs has more.
For those seeking some adventure, you're in luck. The Bahamas Boogie Jump Festival was a skydiving clinic geared toward bringing more visitors to our shores. Organizer Vance Johnson says something like this is very popular worldwide.
This event actually takes place all around the world. Mo Abdullah, okay, we've been doing it together for the last 3 years. Our first one was actually in the Maldives, and then we were supposed to try and do one in Egypt. Well, that's where he's from, so he does that automatically all the time. But we're working on bringing the awareness to the Bahamas so that, you know, it can actually be another tourist attraction.
With a large group of skydivers visiting the island recently, Johnson sees the potential for a skydiving festival to become a major event everyone can look forward to. And although it's seen as a dangerous activity, Johnson views skydiving as something you can enjoy time and time again.
We have about 35 to 50 international, you know, as far as Europe, you know, Africa, Dubai. I started doing it as a hobby, and then I just created a business out of it. But the uniqueness of it is that once you do it once, you don't ever want to stop. You know, people call it a bucket list, but after it becomes a bucket list, it becomes a habit.
The clinic was 5 months in the making. While inviting the public to come out and learn to skydive, co-organizer Mo Abdullah says skydiving in the Bahamas is a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Anyone want to jump with us or come even to chill and watching skydiving how it goes is welcome. We choose Bahamas because it's so beautiful spot. Finally, we got the permits to go ahead, so it's fantastic to be here. And we wish to come again every year.
The final day to take part is Thursday, April 27th, starting at 7 a.m. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Well, Bartlett Hill Primary School hosting a career day to inspire and educate their students about various career paths they can pursue in the future. The school inviting professionals from different industries such as law enforcement and engineering to share their experience with the students. Rumiko Knowles was there.
Bartlett Hill Primary School getting a glance into various career paths at the school's career day. They learned about power and also fire safety. And let me tell you, it is a day that they will not soon forget.
I believe it's important that students are able to engage one-on-one with different professionals on the island so that they can get a better understanding of the educational requirements, also the professional requirements that are needed in order to pursue specific careers that they may be interested in.
The future of the country, we're excited to hear from professionals in the different sectors, but many of them are sure of the direction they are headed in.
A ballerina, a doctor, pilot, because I like flying and stuff.
First, a basketball player. Because I just like the sport and body will encourage me to do it.
Professional basketball player.
The industry professionals say taking part in Career Day is always a highlight for them.
And I think it's important as a company in the community to come back and showcase your work that you are doing in the community and work with the younger kids them.
We just give them a small introduction on the requirements of joining the police force, some of our duties and some of the things we encounter.
I'm here today on behalf of the Traffic Division, Grand Bahama District, and we are here to sensitize the children about the importance of walking on the pedestrian crossing, wearing the use of the seatbelt when inside a motor vehicle. They're not driving the vehicle, but they should know that once you're getting into a motor vehicle, you should always wear your seatbelt.
Airline pilots for the nation's flag carrier also on hand telling students about flying through the friendly skies. They also received knowledge on the farming industry.
I feel like it was a good thing to show the kids that they could start from a young age. They don't have to wait till later on down the line to say, hey, let me figure out what I want to be. You know, that it's a good career to get in. You know, we have a huge pilot shortage.
I've had some ask me what's the pay. I've had some ask me about the systems. I've had some that could have tell me about autopilot and the different routes that we have to take. So I taught them and they also taught me some things.
We have a video that they can see what we do at the farm, how the animals are raised, and educate them briefly on what it is we do, how we are able to feed ourselves.
The students also learned about radio broadcasting from staff at ZNS's radio department.
Do anybody else care to be interviewed on ZNS?
Now, after spending some time with these students, I can tell you that the future is certainly in good hands. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Sports is coming up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Well, amateur softball returns at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex Softball Park this weekend. Also, high school athletes acknowledged for their work this past week. But let's begin with flag football at the Sports Complex. Week 7 of the Grand Bahama Flag Football League kicks off Sunday with the first game at 12:45 p.m. between the 1-4 Pink Sands Tigers and the 0-6 Fidelity Bank Flames. The second game at 2 p.m. will feature a matchup between the top 2 women's teams, Out to Sea Tritons and the Lady Elites. Coach James Goose and Aliyah Green has revenge on their minds after dropping their only loss of the season early on to the Tritons early on this season.
Defending champs, and the Tritons now is a team that we beat last season for the championship. So if we look at the standings now, we're 1-2. They got the first victory, but not making any excuses. We really went into that game not focused, so we came out with a loss. They played a hell of a game, and if we was focused, we probably would have had a different result.
We lose to them the first time playing, but we was off balance. The energy wasn't right. So hopefully this time we come up with a good spirit and everybody come prepared to play, because we really need that win to get everybody in the groove, because, season coming up shortly and playoffs almost here and we need to be prepared. There's a lot ahead of us. We want to win championship, make it the nationals, everything. So this game, once we win, it'll put the girls in high hopes that, we could clean up the rest of the season with wins all through.
Switching gears now in sports, the top high school athletes and coaches on Grand Bahama paid a courtesy call to Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bernard K. Barnaby, Jr., officer in charge of Grand Bahama and the Northern Bahamas. The teams include the Carifta Swim and Track Team, Carifta Special Olympics Team, the GBSSA Most Outstanding Athletes in Track and Field, the Hugh Campbell Basketball Champions, and the Primary School Boys and Girls Champions.
There can be trying times, and there'll be times that you want to quit. But you remember your goal and your focus. Every parent wants the best for their kids. So whenever you are at that weak moment, you find your parents, you find your teacher, find someone who will give you some word of encouragement.
Now in softball, the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association will kick off their season this Friday at the Sports Complex Softball Field at 7:30. Team Immigration will take on Pat's Uniform in co-ed play, followed by Pat's Reds going up against Express in all-men's action at 8:30. On Saturday, Team Alive will match up against Chad Investment, followed by Global Tech going up against the Rand in corporate play. At 7 p.m., GBPA will challenge Coopers, and the feature game will be CLA going up against Pat's Uniform in all-men's play. Also, games will resume on Sunday. Ladies and gents, that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Is coming to
West Grand Bahama. It's the Road to 50 celebration. Saturday, May 27th, Sunset Village, 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry. One family. Sunset Village, 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry. It's coming to West Grand Bahama. Don't miss the Road to 50 celebration. Saturday, May 27th, the West Grand Bahama edition.
Drive your career forward with the first and only CDL authorized school in the Bahamas. Motor Vehicle Training School at number 30 Clara Road. We offer commercial driver's license certification and training for Class A, B, and C. Skill certification is ongoing for all current commercial drivers. Get your CDL license today. Contact us at 601-0629 or mvts-bs.com.
I thought the march was very, very good. Today we're celebrating 61 years, Doris Johnson, what she did to promote women to bring us to this stage to where we are today.
Seeing the little girls is the coolest part to me because, you know, that's our future.
I actually thought it was amazing to see so many females come out and support one another. It makes me know that, you know, we have actually grown. I know where we came from, and I know we have to go further.
A woman's march, that is something that's very different, so I really liked it, and I feel like it's a great turnout for being the first one.
I feel good. I'm proud to be a woman in this Bahama land.
I am so proud to be a woman in the Bahamas.
Here's a public service announcement for anybody who would say Porky. If you would say Porky, this message is for you. It's all about the Road to 50 celebrations in West and Grand Bahama Bay from May 26th to May 28th. So May 26th is all about the welcoming party right there at the YMCA grounds in Hunters. Come on out, but we get Big Flex and we get Sweet Mouth on the DJ set holding it down. But I can tell you right now, leave your kids home. This ain't no kids party, this is a grown folks party. Now the next day, that's Saturday, bring the kids out. It's the People's Rush with the best Junkanoo group in the nation right now. We gotta say it. Who are we? One family, even though Isa Valley, I gotta say one family. So one family is coming to Freeport, and on the Sunday, it's all about the best of the best. Gino D, KB, Tima, Papa Smythe, Wilfred Solomon, so much more. And I can say it again, no kids to this event neither. If your man is act like a little boy, leave him home. Leave him home.
I was invited to an all-girls seminar. By the end of the seminar, there were so many girls that came forward to talk about instances where they would have been abused, either sexually or physically.
The month of April is National Child Protection Month, and the ZNS Health Zone puts a spotlight on social workers.
How is it that there are so many children being neglected and placed into the home?
Family members are not stepping up to the plate.
You would tend to think that the children that are in the home have no family other than the parents who are the reasons why they're there. But that is not the case.
Wednesday, April 26th at 8 p.m. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Davon Wright, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We also want to wish you a special happy birthday and thank you for always watching the #1 station in the nation. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, Protection and Enforcement of Human Rights. RCI exec's mom on Project's Environment Report. Saturation patrols expanded. And in sports, future Olympians on the tracks. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, switch to BTC today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. It's been the United Nations experience that when it comes to human rights, the Bahamas stands strong as a nation. But there is also the acknowledgement that there is some work to do. Building on that sentiment, during debate on a resolution to establish a parliamentary committee to monitor, protect, and enforce the country's human rights, Golden Gates MP, the Honorable Pierre Glover-Roll, opined that there are some very critical national conversations the government must take the lead on in the near future. And this, though admitting that advancing human rights can be rather complex. Case in point, the ongoing national discussion on gender-based violence, more specifically, the ever-emotive issue of marital rape that has sparked moral and ethical concerns. Glover-Roll suggests that in being so comprehensive in exploring such issues, there is often not one clear right answer. Instead, a range of choices and compromises must be made.
In the case of urgent matters or issues like marital rape, there's no need to wait until we figure every last aspect of every sub-issue out to begin taking action to protect women. Some actions must be taken in stages. We can take the first critical steps and figure out the other policies along the way. When an issue is urgent enough, that is often necessary. So there's not only a need to be quick and comprehensive, there's a need to be decisive and practical. It is generally recognized that what is good for women is good for everyone.
Now, such comments follow those of National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, on Monday. When questioned, he told reporters criminalizing marital rape is not on the legislative agenda, adding that it should not be the Davis administration's significant priority, as it was not promised in the governing party's blueprint for change. Well, meantime, while on her feet in the House of Assembly, Glover-Roll issued this added bit of advice in the case of international organizations applying pressure on the Bahamas to take certain action on migrants, for example.
We must ensure that the way we go about delivering on our commitments are also in line with what is going on within the local landscape. Our decisions must be sound, and there's no shortcut around doing the hard work. We must look at other countries within the world and the region with demographics and contexts similar to ours. We must also look at certain amendments and how they affect the Constitution and whether referenda are necessary. Does the necessity of a referendum make such changes likely to occur? Or are these adjustments that we can make for the sake of practicality that will make the change more likely, even if it isn't exactly what the advocates want to see?
While leading off that debate, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, KC, said the Parliamentary Human Rights Committee members will be expected to make biannual reports on their findings to ensure the Bahamas is observing these rights in keeping with its regional and international obligations. The committee's appointment comes as the country tomorrow marks the anniversary of Black Tuesday. On that day, April 27, 1965, the then Lyndon Pinling gave a speech in the House of Assembly, ending it by taking the Speaker's mace and throwing it out a window onto the street.
The legacy of Black Tuesday serves as a powerful reminder of the strength and resilience of us as a people. We have weathered many storms throughout our history, and we've always emerged stronger and more united. Today, as we confront new and daunting challenges, we must draw strength from the lessons of Black Tuesday and reaffirm our commitment to the democratic principles and values that have sustained us throughout our journey as a nation.
Moving that resolution, Freetown Member of Parliament and National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, noted that the Parliamentary Committee on Human Rights will not invade the rights of the judiciary.
They will still be left
as the guardians of our law, the guardians of our rights, and this is to report to Parliament the state of affairs, the state of play in the country, and to advise of steps that may be taken and to hold hearings if necessary.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard, meantime, taking some issue with the setting up of a select committee on human rights. It should examine the range of issues, he said, affecting Bahamians and how to improve them.
What concerns me is that the government wishes to tick a box, which we believe to be an international obligation, in showing that we're setting up a committee to call for papers, to call for persons who would talk about the various areas where there's a violation of human rights. However, we did not hear, Madam Speaker, the wide range of areas where we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are violations of human rights in the Bahamas. And here's a government that's going to enumerate them.
In other news, executives of Royal Caribbean International providing an update on the status of their environmental assessment report. This following their request to acquire 20 acres of land as opposed to the initial 17 acres for a proposed project on Paradise Island. RCI's Senior Vice President and Chief Product Innovation Officer, Jay Schneider.
We received more than 120 questions from people that we will be answering about their concerns. As a result of the time and duration from that original hearing, we're holding another supplemental hearing that will be held later in June. Since then, we've continued to study the habitat and ecosystem in and around Paradise Island. And then, in addition, we've released our environmental pillars as recent as this past weekend, which is really what our environmental plans are anchored around, and that is zero waste to landfill, which is a huge commitment for a tourism entity to make. Number two is 100% green energy production by 2030. So that will be solar, wind, power. So that 100% of our energy needs are coming from solar.
When asked about the timeline for the environmental report to be completed, Schneider said this.
Because we're going through another supplemental public consultation hearing, it's a process. The government has a very stringent process through DEP. We'll complete our hearing, we'll answer more questions. We will issue in the coming weeks after that a environmental management plan. That environmental management plan will then go through its public iteration, and that will be the basis for how we eventually construct and then operate the Royal Beach Club.
Meantime, Tourism Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, says he has yet to see Royal Caribbean International's environmental plans, but insists the company has to meet the same standards as any other development. We can also tell you that RCI, which has faced opposition from environmentalists and the Atlantis Resort, outlined plans for its proposed Paradise Island Beach Club in a statement this week, stating its intention to develop a 100% renewable energy operation by 2023. Other components are zero waste to landfill, wastewater treatment, protecting and enhancing the surrounding habitats, and environmental monitoring. As for the continued opposition to the development, Cooper called on environmentalists who have been expressing concerns in the public domain to send those suggestions to the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection.
I think, there's some anxiety. We need to allow the professionals to do their work. And if we have any concerns, we ought to express those concerns. Notwithstanding their expertise, they might miss something. But what we want to do is to ensure that the public is heard. And therefore, DEP, through their public consultation, is always interested in legitimate feedback. So if there's an environmental concern, it will be heard, it will be addressed. If there's a suggestion from anybody in the public, DEP will consider those adjustments and will ensure that they are addressed in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
Well, the Davis administration is working deliberately and systematically to revitalize downtown. Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says it's a 30-year-old problem, but officials have been working to find both short and long-term solutions.
Things we've done already includes increasing in a significant way the ongoing cleanup and maintenance of the area. We have ensured that there is a budget for doing so. We are undertaking some beautification projects. We're looking at the old traffic studies at the moment that talked about diverting some traffic and making some streets pedestrian only. And what we are also doing is a significant push to demolish dilapidated buildings. So far, I believe we've done about 6 of them. There are about 9 more on our radar. There is a process that must be undertaken.
The minister says they're also attracting new investment to the city centre, with Bahamians to open new businesses east of East Street to improve the area, while the ministry continues with plans for an incubation centre. Officials also hope to work with the creative arts community to beautify downtown with murals, first between East Street and Victoria Avenue.
We are looking at legislation. We're looking at the new Mental Health Bill Act to see how we can help to manage vagrancy. We're looking at the new city management bill that's with the Attorney General's office. We're reviewing some of these items and that will go to Cabinet in due course. And we are consistently looking for even more meaningful ways to improve the downtown area. So these are some of the short and medium-term things that we're doing.
Expanded price control list on groceries expired last Monday and controls on pharmaceuticals in January. That aside, Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honourable Michael Hookita, says the government is better positioned to enforce the laws after making some new hires. He says no plans have been made just yet to reinstate the expanded list.
When it was initially put in place, the intention of the government was to have a temporary relief for consumers in face of the very high inflation. And so we wanted to put in place a temporary measure to bring some relief to consumers. Our reports are that, and I had a meeting with the Price Control Department yesterday, that by and large, the retailers, notwithstanding some commentary in the public, that by and large retailers have complied, or they did comply. During that time, we also said that what we would do is beef up our ability to enforce. So we've hired a number of new price inspectors. We've given them more resources in terms of vehicles to do the inspections, computer technology, and next month we'll be opening some new premises so they can have a standalone premises for themselves as well as the Consumer Protection Commission.
You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this process.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Are you overpaying for low speeds with your internet provider? Stop wasting your money. Switch to BTC for the fastest internet to the most homes in the Bahamas. Get up to 300 megs fiber fast speeds, up to 3 times faster than what you get now. Plus, get 164 TV channels, all for just $42.50 a month for 12 months. That means you'll save $860 for the year. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, BTC is for you. Switch to the largest fiber network in the Bahamas.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays. 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays. A finger-licking good deal.
Centuries, Bahamians have been known as masters of the sea, from the Lucayans and Arawaks, swashbuckling pirates, quaint workboats to meticulously crafted sloop race boats. Bahamians have evolved the sport of sailing as it plays an integral part of our culture. For more than 70 years, Bahamians have displayed passion and grit for the sport, and it is one that has bridged the gap between young and older Bahamians. We are proud to anchor sailing as the national sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
This segment of the news is brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear-up for an RBC auto loan.
An early morning collision ends in tragedy here in the capital. Police say a man in his early to mid-30s was driving his Suzuki Swift west on Cowpen Road near Golden Isles Road after 4 a.m. when he collided into a tow truck parked on the northern side of the road. The man died on the scene. Investigations are ongoing. From the courts this evening, 3 suspects, one of them a female, today charged in a magistrate's court with vehicular manslaughter. Michael Fox is accused of causing the January 20th death of Opal Campbell Hamilton while driving in a reckless manner on East Street. There is the added charge of driving a vehicle not covered by third-party risk insurance. Arraigned under similar circumstances was Ashanti Johnson. The Eleuthera resident is alleged to have caused the death of Kendrick Moss, and this while not holding a driver's license. Also appearing before a magistrate today was Lower Bogue Eleuthera resident Quentin Johnson was accused of vehicular manslaughter of Jamal McNair on December 11th, 2022. None of the accused was required to enter a plea. All are expected back in court on August 2nd. Well, all boots to hit the ground as the police force ups its fight against crime. According to Police Commissioner Clayton Fernander, saturation patrols will also be expanded to include added areas, particularly once they're in possession of another 100 vehicles.
You have 40 of those trucks that will be landed today, and we should be able to get them out this week, and the remainder should be here on the ground. The remainder 60 should be on the ground by mid-May on the ground. But those 37 to 40 that will be on the ground today, we will get them out quickly and to flood the street with our saturation patrol to prevent some of these incidents from happening.
Well, meantime, there's a renewed appeal for the public to be careful of items advertised for sale on social media. The warning follows the outcome of a sting operation Sunday night.
That was done, and the individual showed up, and he was arrested, and searching, he was found in possession of a loaded pistol in his waist. And he was found with 2 cell phones that we identified that was taken during armed robberies. When the officers took him back to his residence to make a search, they found the vehicle parked up in his yard. And when we checked the plate, that too was taken in an armed robbery.
A warning of another kind, this one to local contractors who employ people on work permits. The Labor and Immigration Minister is tonight urging them to get their house in order. Carla Palmer has that story.
Unapologetic in outlining the government's position of righting the wrongs in the construction industry, Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, says that's one of his primary objectives.
This mandate requires that many practices which have historically been ignored be enforced, and many loopholes which have existed over the decades be closed.
Enforcement now necessary, he says, as the challenges are too significant, as practices do not align with immigration laws and policies, starting with improperly documented migrants here. Under our laws, he says, it's not sufficient to say a person has a valid work permit. It must align with other factors.
The person must have a valid work permit. The person must be employed for the person named on their work permit, and the work being done by the person must be the same as described on the permit. Where a person is found working independently or for another person not named on the permit may be cancelled. Where persons are found working outside the job they obtained for the permit may be cancelled. However, in any event, the correct fee must be paid.
On another point, he says, farm laborers should not be on construction sites.
Contractors know that a construction site is not a farm, and a building contractor is not a farmer. Persons who are being issued permits to work on farms found working on construction sites are liable for prosecution and deportation.
Then there's the problem of fronting. With the sector reserved for Bahamians, contractors are warned.
Numerous reports of fronting operations where employees are really owners and have arrangements with Bahamian citizens. Equally, tourists should not be managing construction sites, firms, or projects. If they have no permit, they should not be working here at all.
Minister Bell says amendments to our laws in both sectors may require an increase of penalties for violators, including fines and/or imprisonment. Minister Bell says the law is clear on what is required and is adamant the laws will be enforced. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
While agreeing with the minister's sentiments was President of the Contractors Association, Leonard Sands.
To be honest, I'm very encouraged by the comments by the minister today because what we recognize is that the laws of the Bahamas are there, but we find that enforcement was always lacking. He did mention that contractors have to bear more of the responsibility for who they hire, recognizing the law. You should not be hiring persons without work permit or in violation of the policy of the work permit. And we could be very honest about that. We've been doing a lot of abuse in that matter. So from the Bahamian Contractors Association standpoint, we're going to work closer with the Department of Labor, the Ministry of Labor and Immigration to ensure that we educate our contractors on what they should not be doing. I think we feel that a lot of them simply don't know, and where there is no knowledge is often abuse.
Your future is created by what you do today. The theme of this year's annual Administrative Professional Day Luncheon. The event seeing the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas walking away with a top award. Jiminita Swain tells us more.
For the past 8 years now, the Bahamas Association of Administrative Professionals, or BAP, hosts a luncheon to recognize administrative professionals. On Wednesday at Superclubs Breezes, industry professionals gathered to network and celebrate. BAP President Susanna Roll on how awardees are selected.
The persons that were selected today were nominated by their peers or persons in the workplace. Over the years, we just go to work from 9 to 5. We don't know anybody in the workplace. There's attitude on the left side, attitude on the left side. But to bring bosses and employees together as one, you can have an amazing work environment.
The Berkey O'Brien Most Outstanding Award went to Mistress Joyce Quant. The Corporate Excellence Award went to the Office of the Public Defender. Andrew Burrows was named Boss of the Year, and Merlande Barrett was named Administrative Professional of the Year. Challenging the group to be excellent was Speaker Janice Roll.
I encourage each and every one of you in this room that take charge of your own life. Take charge of your own personal development. Nobody is going to do it for you. No one.
Burrows and Barrett happy with their selections.
It was a total surprise, but again, too, a validation, I guess. Somebody must think that I'm actually doing something right, and it was really caught me off guard. Of course, you show up to work, you're just doing what you're supposed to do. You don't think nothing of it, and somebody's out there taking note of what you're doing. So I felt really humbled by the fact that of all the people they could have chosen, they chose me.
I am grateful. I am so excited and nervous. And I thank all of my colleagues who selected me for this award. And I just want to encourage administrative professionals, continue to do well and pursue the goals of your organization, and you will be rewarded. Don't be discouraged in whatever you're doing. Continue to do well and focus.
The body is hoping to see the membership grow while working to bring professionals outside of their respective professions to network. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
Well, congratulations to our GM from all of us here at the BCB. Well, piggybacking on that award in this next report, our LaDon Davis highlights the work of one of our very own administrative professionals here at the Broadcasting Corporation. Here's LaDon Davis.
Good afternoon. Mrs. George speaking. How may I help?
For 34 years, Unitha Stewart has answered the call to serve her immediate bosses and clients with dignity, professionalism, and pride here at ZNS, making sure that paperwork, whether it's overtime, holidays, vacation forms, or travel incidentals, are accurate and done on time. The veteran administrative assistant told us what she loves most about the noted profession.
I enjoy being an administrative assistant because I like serving. Service is my passion, and I find out that in being an administrative assistant, I can help many others like I do on my job. The person don't have to be in the accounts department, but if they come, maybe a supervisor or one of my colleagues come and ask for assistance, I'd be more than willing to help them.
But before Unitha makes her transition into retirement on May 11th, she couldn't help but to reflect on the different ranks and positions she had to climb during her elevation phase throughout the years.
I started as a receptionist. That's in 1989, I started as a receptionist. And then I went into the news department as a clerk, and then I became the secretary for the news director. That was then Mr. Carlton Smith. And then in 2006, I started my secondment journey. I call it secondment journey because I went to Ministry of Health. Then I went to Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Education. And then I came back to ZNS for a short time, and then I left and I went, in 2007, I think I went to National Security. And then 2017, I came back to ZNS, and here I am. I'm about to leave this place that I call home, away from home.
And as we pause to recognize administrative professionals today and the stellar work they do, Unitha parted with these words of encouragement.
Do your best. When you come to work, work. And if you start at a low level, don't stay there. Go take up courses and develop yourself so you could offer better service to your department head and also to your company that you work for. And sometimes it be a little rough. You have good days and you have down days, but don't let the down days overtake the good days.
Unitha says she won't be working too hard while in retirement, but will be on hand to provide mentorship to other administrative professionals who may need it. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDon Davis.
Oh, way to go, Ms. Sherman. Now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, crime stats are down, but do you feel safe? Yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, www.znsbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday, and as always, thanks for participating. The National Report returns after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the 50th Independent Secretariat Golden Jubilee Song Competition, open to all Bahamian creatives. Entries must be submitted by Friday, May 5th, 2023. For details, go to www.celebrate-bahamas.com.
Tourism today, Bahamas tourism today.
My name, first of all, was Adrian Bell, actually from Bearing Point, but Andres overall, and came here in Mangrove Key and started a sponging business industry for almost 80 years now, being in the business. Andres is the first, one of the capital of sponging, and especially this town called Mangrove Key. Growing up, we did not know the choice. So it makes it unique though, because at the end of the day, you come down and you get something out of the deal anyhow. So I love what I do best, sponging. Well, it actually goes through a couple phases. First of all, you got to get it from out of the water, and then you have to make sure that you put it on the land, and you have to string it, and you have to put it back into the water, and you have to beat it, take it out, and then we go from there. It is a hand down. This was like from generation. So we just made it go and we continue carrying the legacy on. And that's what I did. I took it serious and take it personally and take it to the next level. So everything's sweet about it, be honest. Sometimes I send out like 40 bills, 50 bills. Both actually come once a month, so it all depends. Go get it, it's there. And hard works don't kill you, for sure.
This moment in time, very, very exciting for me, and to know that we can have this time to look back and right now in the present see his lovely wife and children who has weathered the storms with him in getting this country where we are right now. We thank God for the legacy.
He is such an inspirational individual. He is what many may say that is a perfect representation of a true leader.
And the legacy for me that Sir Lynden Pindling left was all about freedom.
For my generation, Sir Lynden Pindling was everything, because without him, I wouldn't be standing here doing what I have been doing for the past 30 years.
I never look at it the same way as him as just a man.
He has given everything that he had, including his family, and definitely left a legacy behind that can never, ever be forgotten.
I love that we have a chance to just say thank you for his work.
As spring hops along, great savings continue at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12-ounce, new low price, $2.39. Ronzoni ready-cut macaroni, 14-ounce, 2 for $3. Luana vegetable oil, 48-ounce, $5.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. Fresh tomatoes, $1.69 per pound. Donate your change to help feed your Maine Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. During the month of May, we will be conducting the labor force survey on various islands, including New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Long Island, Bimini, San Salvador, and North Eleuthera.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the number of employed individuals, those seeking work, and the size and location of the labor force. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all the information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas.
Please remember that our survey enumerators will be uniformed in orange vests with the Department of Statistics written on them, as well as photo IDs.
So if we visit your dwelling, please welcome us and help us gather accurate information. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
your home.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Spring is here and Easter is right around the corner. Thinking about moving forward with your personal goals that require money? Fidelity Bank can get you approved in no time without the red tape and the runaround. Fidelity offers competitive interest rates and minimal fees. The loan that you need and can afford is just a phone call away.
Using STEM initiatives in the classroom, the new rave rather. In this next feature, our Lloyd Allen explores what instructors at Sybil Strawn Primary are doing to empower students for academic excellence.
If you ask most teachers, since the height of the pandemic, there has been an uphill journey in restoring classrooms to pre-COVID conditions. But one local school, now utilizing the tool of chess, is hopeful for an all-around turnaround with students. Dr. David Sands explains.
Chess is recognized as the best tool to teach children critical thinking.
Dr. Sands has worked with this group since February, giving them the history behind the game and common strategies to win.
Teaching chess teaches these skills that they will have for life. They will learn that every move they make has consequences. They will move ahead. They may then have to move to the left or move to the right. They have to make judgment calls.
Fourth grade coordinator Sandrine Cumberbatch says the transformation in students is clear.
It's now getting into our third term, and I have seen some, they settle a little bit, and now they are now more geared to understanding what they read and also getting better results.
Students also sharing their knowledge.
Chess, chess, chess. Chess is the best. First learn chess, then learn the rest. Dr. Sands told me all the rules about it and I understand it, so I went on to win 5 games.
And according to Vice Principal Ms. Joan Knowles Turnquest, the hope here at the school is that students will grow in a number of ways.
Definitely. We are hoping to expand their critical thinking skills and also to help with their mathematical abilities. Chess aids in these.
Dr. Sands also sharing his hope for the game's integration into other classrooms.
Should be taught in every school as part of the curriculum. So far, 30 countries have adopted this as an educational policy. Cuba is one of them, and Cuba has had chess for a long time. Trinidad has a program, but it's an after-school program. It's not part of the curriculum. That's what I want for chess.
Definitely not a game of chance, but of strategy, platforming students to win at school and life. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, most times people think about what they can wear to display national pride, but one local group is presenting design and decor items to bring any space alive. It also lends to support the orange economy, as a number of artisans will be included in the venture. Here's our Jimenita Swain.
The country's Golden Jubilee fast approaching, and a number of companies are looking for ways to capitalize on the milestone. Among them, a group of designers and a fabric company who have come up with an idea that will allow local artisans to bloom by producing designs depicting Bahamian pride.
We know a lot of companies are going to import things, and we get that. And, you know, the concern always is that it's a numbers game. Are you going to be able to supply? Well, I've said to these people, we're going to sleep in August, eh? We're going to go all the way through in producing product for the Bahamian, whether you are a hotel, a restaurant, whether you have a corporate office, even your residents.
Commonwealth Fabrics getting into the independent spirit rather early with its building draped in aquamarine, gold and black. Inside the Montgomery Street two-story building, a number of offerings have been sourced in hopes of getting as many Bahamians as possible into the spirit.
Well, this is a big celebration, 50 years, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be Bahamian, and I'm proud that we've reached 50 years. So I started thinking last year, what can we do to supply something different? So hence we got the ribbons, and as I said, other fabric are coming. The supplier even produced other things for us that we've been selling. We just wanted to make it different.
Well-known local designer April Burrows is excited to get started.
They're just the vertical colors. We decided to design these patterns in horizontal stripes with the colors. Elements of our crest, coat of arms, and so it's going to. We have a lot of elements to work with, and I look around and I've already seen a piece of fabric that I want to create something with. So sometimes you come with no idea, and you come in here and you're inspired by everything that you see.
Now, while this is just a soft launch to whet your palate, the designers are gearing up for a major launch next month. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
This is the super versatile Ring Stick-Up Cam. It goes indoors, outdoors, outdoors in the rain. It's got two-way talk. Hey, Eddie. Works with Alexa. Comes in tons of power options and works with Ring Alarm to start recording automatically if something's going on. Seriously? Seriously. So start protecting your home with the easy installing indoor-outdoor Stick-Up Cam by Ring.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a Sand Dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your Central Bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
Which of us you choose?
You can pay for goods and services
Wherever Sand Dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Come on down at the Red Cross National Fair. Don't you meet me there? It's a family affair. Oh yes, it's that time again. Go tell your neighbors, tell your friend. As the children play, you can dance the night away. Yes, they got to galore. Games and junk and so much more. So jump in your car, catch all the fun enough for everyone. And Won't you meet me, baby, there?
The Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute, or BAMSI, marking several feats in its thrust to complete construction. Agriculture Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, recently shared the details.
The cluster classrooms is 90% complete. We have the approval from Cabinet to complete that. The other areas, the dorms as well, also the kitchen area and the main hall as well. So all of those have been approved by Cabinet. Ministry of Works has been on the ground, and we have a specific project coordinator to ensure that all the projects in the ministry get done as quick as possible.
Well, it's now time for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Mostly cloudy skies again this evening. Temperature at 81 degrees. The relative humidity 72%. We have north-northeast winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,013.6 millibars. That's 29.93 inches. And the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 77 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Greentoll, Key, and Marshall, Babaco, the Berry Islands, and Alistown, Bimini reporting 81 degrees. 80 degrees in Harbour Island and Rock Sound, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, St. Andrews at 81 degrees. In Fresh Creek, Central Andrews, they have a temperature of 82 degrees. Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key at 73 degrees. 81 in Georgetown, Exuma. Pick up a string of 80s in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megwana, 81, Acklands, 81. Matthew Tanyanaga, 82 in the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the Northwest and Central Islands tonight through tomorrow, which is Thursday, the winds are going to be southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots. They will be falling light and variable at times with wave heights around 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will occur at 7:21 this evening. Another low tide at 8:29 tomorrow morning. Now for the southeast Bahamas through Thursday, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. As we take you into Friday, the winds become slightly ahead of a weak front system, which is heading our way. We'll tell you more about that later on. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop, so caution flags will be in place on Friday for the Northwest Bahamas. Low tide, that will take place at 9:25 in the morning with a high tide at 3:22 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Friday, southeast winds at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags up as well. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Mama's belly, when I was born, red, white, scream and shout. I had fire and brimstone coming out of my mouth. I'm extreme, there's something, oh, yeah, man. Well, hey, na, 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 na. Hey, 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 na, 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 na.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training on Thursday, April 27th, 2023 for the Find Every Child Town Hall meeting. Be fully informed on the ministry's successful initiative designed to ensure no student is unaccounted for. Discover the latest updates on learning loss recovery and much more. This must-see event will broadcast live on ZNS starting at 8 p.m. and streamed live on the ministry's official Facebook page. Be a part of the conversation.
To Dad Car Battery.
Why not get a battery that lasts and has a 12-month warranty and is only $64.50? Intercontinental batteries are made with German technology, compatible with Japanese, US, and European vehicles, and adapts to warm climates. All right, good to go. These batteries are high quality, affordable, innovative, and only available at AID. Visit us online or WhatsApp us at 427-0026. AID, all you really need and more.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to ZNS Total Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. Some of the country's future track stars out at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, part of the Ministry of Education's primary school track meet this morning. Hear how they fared in this report. Athletes representing 25 schools taking part in a 3-day meet, and the athletes, coaches, and parents out in full force for the opening session. First on the track, the time finals of the 1200 B Division boys. Taking the first final of the 3-lapper was 9-year-old Jude Ferguson of Garvin Times Primary, who led from start to finish.
My race plan is 100 meter, I gone.
And how you feeling right just now?
I feel good.
Where did you get that boy's energy coming in the final 100 meters?
I don't know.
Race number 2, not as close as Rashad Francis would come around for the win.
First, I thought I was going to lose, but I pushed myself and I make it to the finish line.
And when you heard the fans in the back there cheering you on, how did that feel? And did that give you extra motivation?
Yes, it gave me plenty of motivation. I pushed up myself and I won.
Third and final race proved that the race is not over until you cross that line, as Dion Fowler of Cleveland Aegis sneaks in there for the win over Damani Sherman from E.P. Roberts.
So I ran the curve. They kept pushing me, so I decided to keep calm. That's what my coach said. Keep going. Keep on letting. Don't let them get in first place. Keep going. Yeah.
But I see you sneaking there. You're a little sneaky little fella.
I try to be as quiet as I can. So push. When I get on, as soon as we over at the end, I run off and I come in first place.
Moving to the girls, Ariella Thompson from E.P. Roberts, the winner, and she was too exhausted to talk afterwards. Race 2, another sneaky one, as Talisha Racine would come from behind to beat Siaka Eugene from Claridge Primary.
I was thrown down, but I forced myself and didn't go in until I ran the race.
And then again, you saw a whole race on the side there with about 10 meters to go. What was going through your mind when you see her do that? You say, I could go and overtake her, right?
I said, I will do it for my mommy. My mommy said, come first place, do what you can do.
In the final B Division girls race, it was Tanae Ramming of Telma Gibson, your winner.
I jogged first, and then I went up to high speed when I came to my third lap.
The meet continues on Thursday with the official opening ceremony at 11. The Bahamas men's beach soccer team gearing up for the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships taking place here at home at the National Beach Soccer Stadium starting May 8th through the 14th. The team already beginning their practice sessions as they look to impress on home soil. The Bahamas is competing in Group B. That includes Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. Group C comprises of the United States, Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the Dominican Republic. And in Group A, that will feature El Salvador, Guadeloupe, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. In MLB news, Jazz Chisholm Jr. finished 2 for 5, including a solo homer as the Braves defeated the Marlins 7-4 on Tuesday. The round tripper was Chisholm's 4th on the young season, a 418-foot blast of Charlie Morton in the 3rd inning. Chisholm is yet to fully come around at the plate as he is sporting just a .218 batting average with 36 strikeouts and 87 at-bats thus far. There are some positive signs, however, mainly in the power department, along with 7 swipe bags through the team's first 24 games. Jazz and the Marlins currently sit at 500 on the year at 12-12. From the association, Phoenix Suns center DeAndre Ayton dominated offensively in the first half of Tuesday night's 136-130 Game 5 win over the LA Clippers. The 7-foot center led all scorers with 18 points in the opening 24 minutes. He finished with 21. Ayton also added 11 rebounds and 3 assists in nearly 36 minutes of action, but ended the night with a plus-minus of -1. The performance comes after the 24-year-old compared his motor to a Tesla on Monday. The victory marks the first time the Suns have closed out a series at home in over 15 years. Phoenix will now move on to the Western Conference semifinals to face the #1 seeded Denver Nuggets and 2-time defending MVP beat Nikola Jokic in what is a 2021 second-round rematch. And finally, the Wisconsin men's basketball team announcing its latest roster addition. Today, former Bahamian Junior national team player A.J. Storr will transfer and play basketball for the Badgers beginning in the fall of this year. Storr transferred to Wisconsin after playing his freshman season at St. John's. The Big East all-freshman team honoree played in all 33 games for the Red Storm, averaging 8.8 points, 1 rebound, and in 21 minutes per game. He shot 43% from the floor, including 40% from three-point range. Storr was rated as a 4-star recruit in high school, ranking number 84 in the ESPN Top 100 for the class of 2022. He played a postgraduate season at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, earning team MVP honors after averaging 22 points per game on 60% shooting. That's been a look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
All Super Value and Quality Supermarkets locations have one thing in common. Great weekly specials like Rainbow Corned Beef, 12-ounce, new low price, $2.39. Mahatma Long Grain, Parboiled Rice, 5 pounds, $4.89. First Choice Sugar, 4 pounds,